Cosmic here, and it's time for another Shadowverse Evolve video. Now, I do need to add a couple disclaimers up front here. Yes, going forward, I think Friday is going to be the upload day for the Versus videos. As I mentioned, there's going to be about one a week, so I wanted to try to figure out what my new schedule is going to look like and how everything's going to fit. So hopefully from now going forward, it will be always on Fridays. We do a video upload like this, where there's a deck list and a Versus video, so please look forward to that. And then also, yeah, we need to talk about the massive elephant in the room that I have to, I definitely don't want to record it while I'm this upset about it, so I'm going to give myself a day buffer, but the Bushy Road conference was very not good. So we'll talk about that in either a tomorrow video or Sunday video, just depending on when I have time to record it and talk about and really try to talk specifically about the pros and cons, because there is some good things that came out of the conference, but unfortunately, way more bad things that came out of it. So that is a future video topic, but I did want to say that I know everyone's waiting for it as a follow-up to my first Shadowverse Evolve video, because there's a lot of things I warned about in that video that will be covered. So that will be, again, either a Saturday or Sunday topic. So with that out of the way, we have the final aggro deck of set 1, the Abyss aggro or Abysscraft aggro deck, or just good old get 'em dead with burn, right? So this is a deck that wants to stay with its low to the ground curve with things like Goblin, or your turn 2 being able to do Wraith into Skeleton Fighter, so you have 5 damage on board. This deck does have a lot of explosive options, but where Sword has the ability to tutor up answers and has a far more, search for X card, win the game type of strategy, Abyss really wants to use their life total as a resource for obviously benefits with the Sanguine, which we're going to talk about shortly, or just being able to draw a bunch of cards and trading some life for it with things like Path to Purgatory, or being able to play one of your guys, and then maybe using like Dire Bond to draw cards, or Soul Conversion, destroy one of your followers and draw 2 cards, right? So this deck does have quite a bit of draw power in it. And then, of course, if we're using our life for things like Sanguine, for things like Razor Claw, we do still then have Lilith and Alucard, which is going to be able to heal us up a little bit, so we're not just completely dead to the aggro mirror. And I will say, the Sword matchup can be pretty rough, just because their units are going to be bigger, because they can apply more pressure on the board going wide, but you can line up some key turns where you can just kill them with the burn damage before they're able to really stabilize and get the most out of Royal Banner. So they do play quite a bit differently, but if you want an aggro deck, I definitely recommend checking out either the previous Banner video that I've done, or for Banner aggro out of Swordcraft, or again, this one are both great places to start. And I think generally they're about equal power curve. The Sword deck does transition to mid-range instead of aggro in set 2, where Abysscraft does stay aggro. So if you know that you want to play a more aggressive strategy in set 1 and set 2, then Abyss is definitely the way to go. But the Sword deck in set 2 is pretty sick. Leonidas is one hell of a card. So yeah, look forward to that if you want to have more of a mid-range strategy. But with that overview out of the way, let's get into the individual cards. So the legendary for this one, which is good now, good in set 2, and just good for a while, is Cerberus. So this is a 3/3 that evolves into a 5/5, and really the strength of this card is going to come into, the 2 other heads of the beast, as it were, Coco and Mimi. So Mimi is one that allows you to deal 2 damage to a follower, which is really great for if your opponent tries to ward up with a Bell Ringer. Sorry, it's just going to instantly die. Or if you want to extend your damage. So a lot of times Cerberus herself can be a 5/5 on Evo, and if they have a Lucifer, well then her Evo plus a Coco is going to, a Mimi or Coco, I guess it's 7 either way, right? Is going to allow you to kill the Lucifer and then let your other units swing through for damage. So it is definitely a card that it is very aggressive in nature if you're going second and can Evo this on 5 to have a 5/5 plus the damage extensions. Like, this is the card that makes you not feel as bad for going second, where like a lot of the other cards in the deck really want you to go first. And it just has that great damage extension. And the other thing is, with Coco being the +2 damage, that can be quite surprising too. There are a lot of times where you have, especially if you're avoiding like the Rune matchup, right? If they just have Ward, and you get your Spectre, which we're going to talk about a little bit later, to just get it out of the way. Sometimes you just want to do a double Coco, get +4 damage for free, and kill your opponent that way as well. So it's truly the flexibility that you have in this card to get both Coco and Mimi and double stack whichever one you want on Evo. Really gives you the options to figure out what type of damage you're going to be looking for. Now, it does have Necrocharge 10, which means 10 followers in your graveyard, or cemetery as it's called in this game. it's never going to happen in this matchup. Like, yes, there are some games where it goes insanely long. You know, it's just this slog fest of burning each other's followers out and trying to play more board control. Then it does happen. But, you know, the vast majority of the time, it shouldn't get to that point. And if something did get to that point, probably someone made a mistake at some point in the game. And later sets are in set 2, where the list does change up quite a bit. We have more graveyard-based stuff that we want to be doing, which is a little bit easier to get then, but generally, this is just a 5/5 with good damage extenders that lines up very well into the format overall. And truly the MVP of the deck. And honestly, if we're expecting a lot of dragons, I think you have to play 3 copies of Crazed Executioner in your Evo deck. It does feel bad to lose the 2 life, but the ability to select a card from their hand and make them discard it is insanely powerful. And you're going to see that in one of the games. And, you know, huge shout out to Aspira, who was able to help us record these matches in particular. So he's also going to have some versus videos up later today or tomorrow, I think actually is when he said they're going to go up. So make sure to go follow his channel for more Shadowverse Evolved content. But I was able to rip a Shenlong from his hand. It was the only good play he had for his next turn. And I won the game pretty much on the spot because of it. And yes, you do take 2 damage from this, which is great to set up like your turn 3 Crazed Executioner. You know, if they're not playing Rune, they're not going to have a good way to kill it. Turn 4, you then can spend an Evo point, get your Sanguine live because you're going to deal 2 damage, rip a card from their hand before they can go into their Shenlong on the next turn. And then you can also play like, you know, double 3/3s or something if you have double Skeleton Fighter, right? So being able to also turn on your Sanguine package when you need to with this card is like all upside. So yes, there are going to be turns where you're taking 2 damage just to take 2 damage because you need to put him into the Evo form to rip the card out of their hand. That can feel a little bit bad at times, but again, because of Lilith and because of Alucard to get us a heal up, it's not that bad per se, but it does feel a little bit bad when you get like 2 of these back to back. You've dealt 4 damage to yourself. Your opponent has like a more, you know, tempo dragon build and you just die, right? That's another very real situation that can happen with this card if you hit too many of them. But overall, I think if you want to play, you know, an aggro deck that has a good amount of disruption as well and combat tricks, Abyss definitely has that over Sword. And, you know, Sword does have like forged weaponry and stuff like that. Like there are things that Sword can be doing as well. But I think for those who come from more of a like aristocrat style of gameplay from like Magic and other card games, like you will be very at home with Abyss, or, you know, it really has that kind of Rakdos feel to it. So Crazed Executioner, really the MVP. This card is going to be gas forever and ever. As it were, the card just does a lot for you. And it is, you know, again, the kind of hallmark of why you'd want to play Abysscraft for how good the discard ability is. Now, we've talked about Sanguine, and then we're going to talk about just some of the other, you know, key enablers for it, because this is a keyword that keeps popping up in later sets. So, Ambling Wraith, it's a 1-drop 2/1, which might not seem that exciting, but the fanfare does ping each person 1. And then, of course, is going to allow you to play like your Skeletal Fighter on turn 2 with it to have a 3/3, and then suddenly you have 5 power on the board. So, I know it reads like a 1-drop, but depending on the matchup and depending on like what your hand is looking like, sometimes you do want to just hold it for turn 2, or if you have like double Wraith Skeleton Fighter, then yeah, curve out Wraith into Wraith Fighter, and then that's fine too, and that's a ton of damage on the board that you were able to pressure on turn 2. Dire Bond is an amulet, which is really important in this deck because we do play the Ghost supporting package. Our board space can be kind of limited, so this one can be a bit clunky at times depending on what your board state is looking like and making sure you're getting the full value out of your Ghost. But it is a 1 cost that's going to give us the Sanguine activation, and then also it's going to draw us 2 cards. So 1 when you play it, 1 when you sacrifice it. So again, we do have quite a bit of card draw in this deck when we need it, which is pretty important for aggro decks in general to prevent them from getting gassed out. Then the last one, of course, is Razorly Claw. Deal 2 damage to your leader, so again, 2 instead of 1, but then you're dealing 3 to your opponent. And there are a number of games where you're just like, all right, it's turn 7, double Razor Claw, you're dead. Like, it's a good game, right? Like getting to have that option to have reach over the top, especially when your opponent's going to be warding up and trying to block you out, is incredibly strong. I mean, this is a card that the burn damage is going to go the distance time and time again. And some of the last picks here, Spectre, which I could not draw in any of the games that we played now that I think about it. 2 cost 2/1 with Bane, so that's Death Touch for the equivalent for Magic players, or just, hey, if I hit something, I'm going to kill it. And then on Fanfare, give your leader -2, and it gets Rush. And, you know, again, put the top card of your deck into your cemetery. That's like kind of cute for Cerberus, but it's not something that you're going to activate all that often to care to get Necro Charge 10. This really is just, hey, this is my ward removal, and then swing the rest of my guys through for damage, right? Having Bane and Rush on this follower is quite insane for what this deck wants. Again, as I mentioned, you do have Cerberus who can give you the damage extensions, who can hit nice numbers for you to kill Lucifer, but you'd much rather just play 2 for a Spectre and let your Cerberus stay on the board and have Coco and Mimi give you the damage extenders as needed. And then the last card for, we are playing all the low curves, like, 4 or less. And then, of course, we do play the Storm General as well, which is a 5/5 with Storm if Sanguine was active. But then we have Alucard at the very, very, very top end for when the games do go a little bit long. So a 7-cost 4/4, which might not seem the most exciting thing at stat value-wise, but the value really here is in the Necro Charge and the Strike ability. So it does have Storm. So, again, I can attack the leader directly when the turn comes into play. Necro Charge 10. So again, if the game goes this long, this is where it's now more likely to get Necro Charge because you've kind of battled through each other's decks and you really want that extra damage. He goes up to a 6/4, which is a lot of damage. And then also Strike. Select an enemy follower on the field, deal it 4 damage, and heal yourself 4. So this card should have been a legendary for how good it, maybe if it would have cost 6, I would have felt a little bit better about it, but it comes in the starter deck. This card is absolutely cracked in the matchups that you need it. Again, the matchups you need it might be a little bit more limited, at least within set 1, but especially if you're playing more aggressive matchups and you can just kill like a Tsubaki or something, right? It's going to feel like insanely positive value because not only are you healing, hitting them for 6, and killing one of those guys, like they still have to deal with it and they still have to lose one of their followers to then crack back into it. So it's really crazy what kind of a value swing that Alucard can be. But again, a lot of times, the games are ending on 6 or 7. In this Abysscraft style of deck, that Alucard's generally not the combination of answers to get there, but sometimes it just absolutely is just being 4 Storm is good enough, right? But we have a number of cards that can give us either Storm or burn damage over the top to give us that reach we needed to close out games. So with that is our Abyss aggro deck, Rakdos style of deck, again, for those that have played Magic the Gathering. And I truly like this list. Dark General was the other card that I had just mentioned, or Storm General, as I like to call her. That card has been absolutely insane on turn 5, where it's like Wraith or literally any other ping into 5 Storm damage. Like, your opponent is just not expecting it and not ready for it. It does so much for the deck. So with that, we're going to get into a couple of games now. Again, shout out to Aspira. Always some fun. And we will have a Rune and Dragon versus video on his channel as well. So definitely look forward to that. But otherwise, like I said, this is definitely one of the other cheaper options that you can pick up for set 1 meta. Sword being the cheapest deck, and this one kind of being next in line. And that if you want a good aggressive strategy that's good in set 1 and set 2, absolutely pick this up. So with that out of the way, let's get into the games. Well, an aggro deck usually doesn't want to miss their first turn, but I like what else I can do with this hand.
Yeah.
That I think is important enough in the mismatchup. I think I am just going to keep this.
This will be a keep for me as well.
So I will say cry for no turn 1 and pass back to you.
Yep, we'll go ahead and begin the turn. We will draw. Oh my, I am so good at this game. All right, we'll go ahead and Bellringer. And then we'll just do a quick ward, and it's yours.
Yep, go up to 2. Draw. Okay, well, now I get punished for drawing that instead. So I'm going to play a Dire Bond, which when it comes into play, I deal myself 1 damage, which is now going to enable Abysscraft's Sanguine ability, which allows this to come into play as a 3/3. Again, does not have haste or anything. It's just a good 3/3 body, so he can't Blazing Breath it right away, and I will pass turn.
That is pretty big. That's the big boy right there. We'll go ahead and start the turn. We are at 2 draw, and oh my god, I don't.
Is that Oracle off the top? Is this what it's gonna be?
I'm really good at this game. So that's an Oracle, and the turn will ward out the Bellringer, and that'll be yours.
Yep, I'll go up to 3. Oh, okay. Well, that feels a little bit better then. We are getting at least some kind of curve going on. So we're going to pay 2 for a Lilith and then 1 to evolve, which before I forget, it's going to give me a Forest Bat. Boop. As soon as I find her. So Lilith, she is going to crash into your Bellringer.
Yep, ding dong. Draw a card.
Actually, is it strike or follower strike? I'll have to double check the wording on that. 'Cause I think strike is only player. It has to be follower.
No,
strike.
no. So
it the
strike
other
is
way?
anything.
Okay.
Strike is anything, and then there's follower strike, and then player strike, or something like, or leader strike. So
I think that's what I'm thinking of. Yep.
So strike is on anything. Follower strike is only followers, and then leader strike is only on leaders.
Even better. So I get to heal up, and I get to punch you for 3.
Oh my lord.
And pass back to you. So I have 2 3/3s.
Sounds good. We go up to 4. Draw. I do like the decisions that this game makes you have to do. I do really appreciate that. This might be a mistake, but I feel like it's... No, that doesn't actually change anything. Does not change my situation at all. Yeah, okay. We'll go for 2. Go into Shapeshifting Mage. We'll use an Evo point.
Yep.
Whoop. Go into Boy, which has Assail and Bane as a 2/2, but that's not that big of a deal. And then we'll just go ahead and, yeah, swing into that one. Why not?
Yep. Kill the Lilith so I can't get the health gain.
Mm-hmm. And then with 2 standing, I'll say go ahead.
All right, begin my turn. Go up to 4. Draw. Untap. We are going to start with a swing for 3.
We take 3.
I am going to play... yeah, no, we're just going to do it this way. We're going to play a bat.
Yep.
And then we are going to pass there, actually.
Wow. All right. We'll just go straight into my turn. Go to 5. Draw. Interesting. Okay. That changes the dynamic a little bit. In that it actually makes my life a little easier now. We'll go ahead and go into the Dragon Warrior.
Yep.
Yep. And then go ahead and pay the Evo point. So actually, do I... Nah, we'll just hard pay the 1. That's fine.
Yeah, you can always just save the Evo points for a turn where it makes more sense if you have nothing else going on for the turn.
Yep. So we'll go ahead. We'll deal the damage to the bat.
Yep. Bat is dead.
And then Dragon Warrior gains Rush because it evoed, and we'll swing into the skeleton. Or attempt to, anyhow.
Yep. We are going to use Soul Conversion, which is going to allow me to destroy a follower on my field and draw 2 cards. So I will elect to destroy my Skeleton Boy and draw 2.
That's pretty good. Gonna die anyways.
Yep.
And then that'll be yours.
And then I'm also going to Razor Claw, which is going to deal 2 to me, 3 to you, to be 11 and 19. And then I will go into my turn. Draw. Okay. That makes me feel a little better.
You can work with that.
Yeah, that's fine. We're going to use Phantom Howl, which gives me 4 ghost tokens.
Oh my. Do they still have Storm in this game?
Yes, they sure do. Let me get the 4 for the full effect.
Yep.
And I would like to attack you 4 times. Do you have any blazing breaths
No,
or anything?
no. You definitely hit me 4 times.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Go down to 7, and then I'll pass turn from there.
Yep. We'll go ahead and just straight to begin the turn. Draw. This will refresh itself. So first we'll start with a Dragon Boy swinging at you.
Yep. I go to 14. Very fair. Just punch me in the face.
Yep. And then we'll go for Shenlong.
Yeah.
1. Yes, sir. I'm gonna go ahead and draw the 2. And then my pitch here will be my Ayla. Too slow for this matchup. And then we'll go ahead and Evo point and pay the 1 to go into Evoed Angry Boy Shenlong.
Yep. Back up to 12.
And then we'll just go ahead and end the turn and ward it up.
Sounds good. Begin my turn at 6. Draw. Yeah, Shenlong is real good, it turns out.
Yeah, they should do something. Maybe restrict it. I don't know.
Maybe limit it to 1, right? Yeah, I don't love this, but I have to just play the board here, so I'm going to shortcut.
Yep.
Mimi, Coco. I am going to Evo Cerebus, choose double Mimi and a Coco. Where is Cerebus? I'm gonna use Coco to give her +2 to kill the Shenlong, and I'm gonna spend the 2 Mimis to kill the Dragon Warrior.
Yep.
Not great, but have to clear the board. Kind of want some of the pressure out of here, and hopefully my hand will. He won't double Shenlong me, and I'll pass.
I
there.
will not. All right. So we'll go ahead and begin the turn. I am now at 7. Draw. And to be honest, we'll keep it very simple. We'll just go for a boy.
Yeah.
And then end the turn, ward it up, and gain 4.
Yep, that is very understandable. Draw. Yeah, I am not in a great spot. We are going to pay 4 total for a Playful Necromancer and 1 to Evo it, which is then going to give me 3 ghost tokens.
Mm-hmm.
I'll remember to just put those ghost tokens. Boop.
And that does make a total of 7.
That is 7, and we're just going to crash everything into Lucy.
Yep.
Pass to you.
All right, we'll go ahead and begin. Go to 8. Draw. Interesting. Yeah, I guess we can just start doing Forte beats.
Yep, that is how it be sometimes.
And then we'll spend the 2. Just so you can't get too fancy with it. Oop.
Yep, and you're gonna hit me for 7. I have a good feeling.
I am definitely gonna hit you for 7. And then that'll be your go.
Okay. Gosh. Because I had 3 open still. Man, Claw doesn't even do much here. Probably should have played it just to make you have something if you're going to answer it the last turn. Yeah, that was probably a mistake on my part. We are going to get dangerous.
I love danger.
Overflow, and that would still kill her. Ugh.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Whatever. I'm going to claw you.
Yeah.
Oops.
Sorry.
To 12. Or no, well, you're at 16 or 15, sorry.
I'm at 16.
Yeah, so claw to 13, and then go into my turn. Boy, that is living life dangerously. We're going to pay 2 for a Lilith.
Mm-hmm.
1 to Evo. Lilith. Strike, heal up 2, and attempt to kill your Forte.
I will pay the 1
Yep.
to...
Bleh. Which now means I have to do it this way, and I'm just dead to the second Forte, and that feels terrible. Yeah. All right. Well, deal 1 to each of us, and then Storm General, because I took damage this turn. She has Storm, and I'll kill Forte that way with a 5/5 instead.
Yep.
Was trying to do that for damage, but I'm now dead to Forte or Genesis Dragon. And then I'll pass to you.
Begin turn, draw step, Forte step.
Yep, that is that is very good. I could have just used the Executioner just to, kill myself that way and be like, all right, what does he have? And just show me the Forte.
Yeah.
Do you have like a Genesis? Or what else did you have? The Overlord Fen? Yeah.
No, everything else was like boardy. So like I had things to protect myself and elongate the game a little bit. But yeah, I had double Forte going into the last turn. In terms of keep, I actually had the Oracle in hand for the keep and then drew into the Bellringer. So the rest of it was just like, oh yeah, so basically my opening hand that forced me to keep was basically Oracle, which allows me to get into my Shenlong even faster. And I knew once I got to that position, I'd be like, okay. Because effectively what you want to do is very much just try to gas out aggro as much as possible. So like there was a point where it caused you in a position where like you had to 2-for-1 yourself just for the sake of dealing with my bodies, because you knew otherwise I'd be like just counter aggroing you. And also Lucifer just kind of, if he can stay on like an empty board for 1 turn, he kind of swings the matchup into his favor. You're playing aggro there, buddy?
I did mulligan. Let the record show.
Draw pass.
Ooh, no Oracle. There's
No Oracle
the
this
1
time.
drop right on time. You did good, buddy. Yep, so we are going to Lilith.
Yep.
And we are going to spend an Evo just so we can get out of range of a Blazing Breath.
Yeah, it's a pretty good play.
3/3 and pass.
Begin turn, draw, and then we'll spend the 3 to go into Ayla Dragon Knight as a sail, and last word, increase my max by 1. Go ahead.
Go to my turn on 3, draw. Ooh, okay. Yeah, well, start with a 3.
Go down to 17.
I healed 2. So, yeah, I'm going to do another Lilith, a Goblin,
Gobble boy.
and I don't think... I guess we kind of have to Evo if we're going to Evo this. Or no, because I want to save it for these 2 cards. I am going to pass there.
Sounds good. You can turn, draw for turn. We'll attempt to swing Ayla, which has Assail, into your standing Lilith.
Yep. It's a... Well, you want to kill this one because it's a 3/3. Either way, Isla dies because it's a 2 health.
Yep. No, I want to hit
Oh,
the standing one.
deny the Evo. Never mind. Makes more sense.
Yep. And then my max play points goes up by 1, so I'm now at 5. Then I have to make kind of like a pretty not great play, but kind of don't want you to keep gaining life. It's probably just better for the sake of... Yeah, sometimes she's just removal. Well, potentially removal. There's no guarantee on whether she gets in or not. But we'll try to Forte. And oh yeah, you got none. I'll Forte. Yeah, I'll Forte into your Lilith.
Yep. She will die
And
as
then
well.
that'll be yours.
Okay, go up to 4, draw. We'll swing for 2.
I'll take the 2.
We are going to go down 3.
Oh my god.
This worked
Oh
out pretty well. We're gonna Evo.
Oh my god, dude.
We're gonna Evo into a crazed executioner who's gonna deal 2 to me. And I get to see your hand discard something, and I swear to God, you better have a Shenlong or I'll cry.
I've got a Blazing Breath, a Lucifer, a Shenlong, a Genesis Dragon, and a Path of Purgatory.
Okay, well, we can only sit 1 here, so we are going to make you discard the Shenlong. I believe that is
the
one that makes the most sense.
I think that's the call.
And then because we took damage this turn with my last point, I'm going to get another 3/3 on the board.
Mm-hmm.
And I will pass back to you.
Begin turn. Buzz, big spook right now. Got 6, and you kind of got rid of my turns to play. Or my, let's see.
Gotta hit that Shenlong while we can, man.
Let's see. So you're presenting 6, 7, 8 damage right now, which would get me down to 7. Oh. This is greedy. What is wrong with me?
Nah, greed is good. I only have 3 cards in hand. Nothing spicy.
Yeah, Path to Purgatory. Go draw 3.
I mean, you do have a Blazing. I guess you can get rid of 1 thing for sure.
Yeah. And then 2 for Oracle.
Yep.
Pretty relevant. Yeah, that's fine. And then that'll be your go.
All right. Go into my turn. Draw. Because you still have 1 up, right?
I have 1 up, yeah.
Which is okay. Swing for 2.
Take 2.
Oh, he's gonna do it. So 10. Swing for 3.
Yeah, take 3.
He's not gonna fall for it, folks. Swing for 3.
Take 3.
We are going to... Yeah, 'cause it's off by 1 now. Oh, I'm so dumb. I keep forgetting Goblin can Evo for this exact moment, but then I guess you would have for sure used the Blazing Breath then. So yeah, no, this is still fine, I guess. We are going to pay the full 6 here because we're going to do an Evo, our last Evo point, which is on the ground now, for a Cerebus. And she lets me put Coco or Mimi, so we are going to go double, where is it? We're going to do double Mimi, 1 Coco.
Mm-hmm.
Whoop, that is not Coco. You're Coco. Actually, it is Mimi or Coco, right? I'm not crazy.
It's Mimi or Coco, yeah. And then on the Evo, it's both.
Yep. And I will pass there.
This is such a dangerous position. I don't love this. Okay, sounds good. We'll just go ahead and start the turn draw. All right, we'll go ahead and ding dong.
Yep.
And then 3. Going to the Nitra. First up a dragon. Might as well do this for free. So we get the 2, but I get the 2 back because I'm in overflow.
Yep.
The dragon out. Then I'll pay 3. Play Halo.
As a full
And then that is a full board. And then yeah, we'll just end turn and let this blow up. And then we'll ward out the ding dong.
Yep. Go into my turn 6.
I'm super spooked.
Yep, and you only have one open.
I have the 1 open.
Yep. So we're gonna use Mimi for free to kill the bell ringer.
Draw card.
We are going to use Phantom Howl to get 4 ghosts.
Yeah.
Bonk.
Yeah. No matter what here, I lose. Yep.
+2 there. And then
Yep.
just make you feel better. Have the Razor Claw just to get the last.
Oh
burn
yeah,
there.
that
So,
really does. That
having-
does make me feel better. Yeah.
all the burn damage. No, but I mean that's actually a good showcase of like the two sides of it where Craze
Yep.
actually, you know, in game 1, you definitely were able to stabilize. Having a bunch of ward and healing up is exactly where you want to be against the more aggressive strategies, but at least with an Abyss, having Craze Executioner and being able to turn off those very key 5 play point plays, you know, cough, Shenlong, cough, can be really important for helping close out this game because that's, you know, 11 damage that he effectively heals, right? It's not just the +5 heal, it's then also the ward body. A huge shout again for Asperia for joining us for this game. And again, lots more Shadowverse Evolve content coming in the future. It's going to be like a once a week thing, but make sure to go check out some extra games on his channel as well. So with that, my friends, stay safe, stay hydrated, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.